Hello and welcome to the rest of the Hyundai Inster road trip. We're in Edinburgh. We've been running around crazy trying to find a charger, but just blooming works. The ones at the park and ride do not. The card readers are all broken, and you don't want to keep signing up to apps and bloody websites all the time. And the Wi-Fi is so rubbish, but you can't even connect. So it's been a bit frustrating, but we're here on an EV 75 kilowatt charger. Where are we? Yeah, so this charger will take 26 minutes to get it to 80%. That's quite good. Look at that, we're charging at 63 kilowatts, so that's quite punchy. It claims 75 kilowatts on the charger, but I'll take it. So we're actually going to go for a drive in a Toyota Prius. Not going to film it, and then we're going to come back and take this home. There we go, we went for a 45-minute drive in a Prius and we're up to 93%. So I think that'll probably do, to be honest, because you can see the charge rate slows down. I mean, that's half of what it was, just trying to cram that last bit in. So we'll just stop it there. Lovely. You're going to tell me how much that cost? Oh, return plug. That was it. It's not telling me how much that was. I guess I'll check my bank account. You can use an app, but I don't want an app for every single charger. Yes, I drove a Prius and I actually liked it. I apologise for the sound of a slightly tired Suzuki Wagon-R in the background, but yeah, very enjoyable. The game of trying to just keep it rolling along on electric power only. Good game. Well, good morning. Just south of Edinburgh, we're on the A68 towards Jedburgh, and up bright and early to get on the road because I just want to take it easy today. I don't want to be hurtling along with deadlines, but we're just here admiring the Inster in the sun while the wind farm creates the electricity that is powering it. We charged to about 94%, I think, at a charger yesterday when we eventually found one. I got quite angry. Sorry, shadows. It's just so frustrating. We tried so many chargers yesterday and we found some on a map, but we're on a university. It turns out they're for university use only. So great, let's put it on a public map. That's great. Then we went to the Charge Place Scotland ones and they didn't work. I tried doing it online and it said the machine doesn't exist. And then I tried the one but got a card boot point on it. Neither of those worked. So that was 4 chargers into our day and we still hadn't managed to get a charge. And then we found the one you saw us at. So all very frustrating, really. But yeah, heading down to Ripon, and we're going to have an impromptu hub nut meet tonight. Oh, get back in, it's nice and snug in here. It's cold enough today, I've had to use the seat heaters, which are fierce. Not quite cold enough to use the heated steering wheel, but I've got the heater running. We're about 158 miles to go from here, 171 miles of range, but I think I will probably find some juice along the way. There's no point arriving empty because tonight I've got to get from Ripon to Skipton. That's where I'm going to be staying tonight in a hotel. Yeah, it should be a nice day, I think. A bit more relaxing. I've got 1 test today. We did 2 tests yesterday, but I also, off camera, also drove a Citroen GS because the owner wanted to know whether it was any good. Yes, much better gear change than the GSA. Really slick, just even less torque, so you really do have to it. And then I drove the Toyota Prius just because I'd never driven one, and I was really impressed actually, and I'm now thinking maybe I need a Prius in my life because I can't charge at home. Making the leap straight to EV, that and the cost of buying an EV kind of rules it out. Maybe a Prius is the way to go. There's a lot of interesting tech happening with the batteries, people, repairing the hybrid batteries. So I think there could potentially be a lot of interest. But yeah, I need to push on. What a beautiful morning it is to be heading to Jedburgh. Oh, no, not reverse. That's no use. All right, let's get on our way again. Just taking it nice and gently. I've got it in eco mode today as well. Just to eke out the mileage. I'm keen to see, can I get back to my happy place of 5 kilowatt sorry, 5 miles per kilowatt hour. So far the hills, making so you can actually see them, the hills are battering the economy somewhat. We're on 2.8 miles per kilowatt hour at the moment. But I got some very impressive figures driving around Edinburgh last night. Just because it was stop-start traffic, and the Insta takes off quite gently unless you really ram the pedal down. And I was kind of getting 7 miles per kilowatt hour just bimbling around Edinburgh. And that's a key difference. A petrol car, the economy will be terrible around towns and cities, even with stop-start. The much lauded technology, but I don't think makes a fat lot of difference, really. Yeah, it's going to struggle. Incidentally, the Prius was that averages around 50 mpg because it can drive along on electric power only. And oh, there's other wildfires over there. There's a lot of smoke. And the countryside is tinder dry, even with the rain we've been having. But nonetheless, I can't really see that. Oh, I'm looking the wrong way. I've actually just pulled over because I just spotted this. How awesome is that? Slightly ratty-datty. It's got a YouTube Chris Pervs on the back of it. So that's quite a nice spot. I literally just pulled over to look at it. It's a Datsun Cherry F2. It's like the second generation Datsun Cherry. Must do a video on a Cherry. But not today, sadly. We got places to be. Oh, shush. We're just silence the news. We don't want to listen to the news. The news is too depressing. But just before we get moving again, I want to say a quick thank you to Roy and Maria, who hosted me in Edinburgh. And Roy let me drive his absolutely beautiful Citroen Notta DS. So that will be coming in a future video. By the way, it's 20 mile an hour through here. And the Scots seem rather fond of 20 mile an hour speed limits. And they're just as annoying as the ones in Wales, quite a lot of them. Fully understand it anywhere where you've got sort of, you know, actual built up areas. But so many of them are like in the middle of nowhere. Where there are no pedestrians. I just don't understand it. They haven't changed the default here because they've got 20 mile an hour repeaters, and I think that's actually a better way of doing it. Changing the default in Wales just caused more confusion, I think. But anyway, one mustn't grumble too much. We're going to push on for Ripon. We've still got about 140 miles to go, I think. 163 miles of rain. Shut up. We're here in Jedburgh because I just wanted to do a bit of exploring while we're out. We've got the castle jail behind us, but there's something a bit more impressive back down in the town. Let's go and have a look. There are the amazing abbey ruins, presumably Henry VIII's doing. He sort of took out dissolved them. That's what he did. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful here. Beautiful stone buildings everywhere. And a Daimler 66, I think. There's certainly a Daimler Sovereign at the very least. Nice. But yeah, the sun right behind it. Can I get the sun through the abbey? That would be quite... No, I don't think I can quite pull that one off. But look at that, it's an imposing structure. I mean, it dates back to the 1500s. And probably even older than that. It just beggars belief what people must have thought back in the day. These amazing structures. Talking of amazing structures, we need to drive this little amazing structure onwards. Ugh. Enough sightseeing, we need to keep moving. Look, I've only got 3.9, very disappointing. While we're leaving Jedburgh, I just want to talk about regen levels. Because I wonder if there's a little bit of misunderstanding about what regen is. Regen only kicks in when you stop asking the motor for power. So there are different modes. You can put it in a really light mode where the car barely slows at all. It behaves very much like a modern automatic car. And it will only start regenning more if you start pressing the brake pedal, and eventually if your regen isn't strong enough, it'll start using the service brake. It's one of the clever things, but it can modulate this. So if I put it in the lightest mode and take my foot off, we're doing 20 miles an hour, we're not slowing down. Whereas if I turn it up, we start getting to the stage where we really slow down quite hard. But whichever way you do it, you're still modulating the regen. So I prefer it in I-pedal mode, where it a very strong effect when you lift, because what I do is I keep pressure on the throttle pedal to try and keep it in the neutral. That's kind of where you want to be. So if you have it in minimum regen, it'll kind of stay, it's very slightly regen, but I prefer the stronger effect, because the manipulation is the same. Either you lift off the brake pedal gradually to manage the level of regen, or you move your foot to the brake pedal and actually have to press the pedal. I would rather just have one pedal, so I do I-pedal mode. I'm coming up to a bend now. I'm just lifting. I've still got a little bit of pressure on the pedal, so I'm at the speed I want. Back on the throttle. I call it throttle, and there's no throttling going on, other than the angry people in the comments when I use the word throttle, which is a ridiculous word for me to use because I can't pronounce THs, so I really should just say accelerator, I guess. The go pedal. Well, behind me is Bonnie, Scotland, and this way, England. That rock marks the border. So this is the furthest north you can get in England. The border isn't a straight line across the UK. It's kind of like that. So we're still a very long way north, far further north than Scotland on the other side. So yeah, it's a slightly strange border. There's a Scotland flag, but what a spot. And I've got some hubnut stickers. I may have to leave one here. Come to the border and see if you can find it, because all this is stickered, and the Northumberland sign over there. But what a magnificent spot. The drive today has been beautiful. The A68 is such a pretty road. I remember coming up here in my 2CV, and I think it would have been 1998, and I had a friend taking part in the Fringe, and yeah, it's just breathtakingly pretty. And I've got Peter Bradley Adams on the radio, the most chilled musician ever, I think. So it's feeling like a good day. Let's get a sticker. There we go. I've left my mark here. Maybe you can find it. Alright, come with me and you'll see how beautiful Northumberland is. For that is the county we are now in. And it's one of my favourite parts of England, to be honest. It's just beautiful up here. So here we go. It's just gone 9 o'clock in the morning, and traffic levels are just ideal. And it has to be said, the Insta's good fun on roads like this. It's nice and grippy, the steering's got a nice weight to it. There's not masses of feel because it's electric assistance, but yeah, there we go. Welcome to Newcastle upon Tyne. A blissful drive down here, and we're using an Ionity charger this time. I can't remember what the rate is. There's various scanning options. Where are we? We're charging at 78 kilowatts. You can actually see it, so we're up to 8 kilowatts gone in now. So we've gone from 43% to 55% in 7 minutes, which was the time it took me to go to the toilet in McDonald's. So that's not bad, but I could do with a bit more of a break, but I don't want to go. I know if you just use their toilets and it's really bad form. But there's a Krispy Kreme donuts over there. Is life on the road with an EV unhealthy? Where are the nice clean food options? But I don't want to eat too much because the hubnutter I'm meeting today has promised me lunch, so it's very kind of them. But yeah, maybe I'll just stick to me water It's nice and cheap. But yeah, lovely drive. I've had it on the adaptive cruise. I even confess I did put the steering lane assist on, just because the roads are a bit quieter up here, and it's a lot more usable. It's actually more consistent. So I think on the quieter roads of Europe, I think the steering assist would work quite nicely, but on the busy roads of the UK, perhaps not so much. These chargers make a truly horrible noise. I should probably check whether there's any park. Well, no, it's a retail park, isn't it? I'm sure it's fine. I'm not going to be here for hours. I'm not going to charge it fully, I don't think. We'll just put enough in to make sure I can definitely get to Skipton tonight. Another 15 minutes and we'll be at 80%, and I might as well, because I could do with a break. Incidentally, you can see we're at 62%. The steering wheel lights here show you where the battery is. So it's above 50%, hasn't yet reached 75%. So that's quite neat. Incidentally, the Peter Bradley albums just got a bit too relaxing, so I had to liven things up with a bit of Roixop. It's good to have variety, and I mean, I can do this trick in Betty now. I just like being able to say, hey Google, and it listens and plays what I want to play. Really, really good. Oh, I need to sort this out. So this message pops up about 3 minutes into every journey. It won't let you review the changes while you're driving. So you can only hit no to make this bloody screen go away. But this time I can go yes. Oh, gold. Yes. It's not my car, I don't care. Whatever. Yeah, all good. I don't know what blue link is. Whatever, go away. Sorted. Right, well, I'm just having a bit of a rest. I've still got 68 miles to go, which is going to take an hour and 20 minutes. So I do need a bit of a break because I've got to jump straight into filming. Well, we're going to have lunch and then a bit of filming after that. So, yeah, just rest for a bit. Maybe I should put that cable back in the boot. A Holden! Making V8 noises. Wow. So I've actually finished my filming in Ripon, a lovely Volvo 360 GLT. But here's the problem. I thought I'm parking in town to explore. I might as well jump on a charger and put some electricity in. It's absolutely bucketing down yet again. So I'm not inclined to get out the car at the moment. The other EV owner is bravely getting soaked. But my need is not that great. I've still got 100 miles of range, so I can get to my overnight accommodation. I think I'm going to look it up and see whether they've got charging, and maybe I'll just say that's enough. Now that would be a useful feature. Plug and charge, so you just charge the cable in and away it goes. I'm glad such things exist. I've just been going through the settings because what I'm going to do is I've set a charging limit on the DC charger to 90% so it won't max the battery. I don't know why I care, it's not my battery, but it is better to do it to 90 than 100 really. I'm an idiot really. It's still raining, I'm still sat here in the car waiting, but look, sunshine. Sunshine is coming, I will soon be able to connect the car up. Right, it's finally stopped raining and I've remembered to pick the microphone up. So InstaVolt, really simple. Connector in, boop your card, and then you boop your card again to stop it, so no rogue person can come past and stop it. So I mean, we're at 50% already. Look at the charge rate going up. It's 21 minutes to 81%. I mean, that's pretty decent. I'm not going to have much time for exploring there. I might tidy the car up and then move to another car park, because I don't think I can stay in this car park for too long. The famous hat has got a bit squished, but nonetheless, we're in Ripon. This is the Market Square car park where we're hoping to have a little meeting later on. I'm slightly concerned there's not going to be enough space, but very nice buildings all around. And is that a cathedral? Oh, I think I need to go and have a look at that. Let's go. But yeah, what a lovely space. Very nice. Though the signage needs some work. Cathedral, that away. No, that's Claro Lounge. Gosh, there's some elderly buildings here. Wonderful. And yeah, that. Need to go wider angle. for it is large. I think I just got rain on the lens. Now, should we try again? Wow. We can go in. Free entry. Oh, I'm all for that, especially when it's raining. Wow. And keep fairly quiet. The famous hat is off. Look at that pipe organ. Wow. So there has been worship on this site for 1,350 years. Incredible. And it's a remote console for the pipe organ. Interesting. Do love the pipe organ. Oh yeah. I'd love to hear that fire up. Beautiful stained glass windows. Awe-inspiring spaces indeed. Wow. Vitally impressive. Has odd wood carvings. It's incredible. More pipes. And believe it or not, these are pipes too. It goes all the way up to the ceiling on both sides. I'm standing in a pipe organ. Holy smoke, they must make some noise. That'd be notes you can feel rather than hear. They do have free lunchtime concerts. Voices and organ. Yes, please. We're going to head down into the crypt, which was apparently built in 672. I'm going to get locked in. Just try not to think about how much stone is above our heads. Who else is giving you this in an electric car review, eh? Not timed that well. I think that means charge time is over. Oh, we don't get the full peal because that's quarter to the hour. So you get a little bit more tune every quarter of an hour. I'm not going to hang around for the, will it be 5 o'clock? 4 o'clock. I'm going to go and move the car because it should be charged, and we'll move it to another space so we're not hogging the charger. Absolutely chucking it down. I'm trying to get to the toilet block over there, but I don't move at the moment. Holy smokes. Now I can't get back to the car park, so the passageways are flooded. And I got these on. Electric cars have a serious downside. When it's raining, you've got no shelter. And today it is mostly raining. Well, we just had a lovely time meeting everyone here in Ripon. I didn't get any footage, we were just talking the whole time and having a lovely time, but the weather has turned somewhat for the worse. There goes the Honda Accord, and I'm going to start the Hyundai up and get to my hotel. Just turn the music off until we're underway. But yeah, really enjoyable. Lots of nice cars came. We didn't have enough parking at all, but it's been really nice. So time to get to the hotel and have a bit of a rest. Oh, we start the day in Skipton today. So we were in Ripon, and then we came to Skipton to stayed at the Heriot Hotel. Wouldn't necessarily recommend. I don't seem to know what water pressure is, but it's time to start gallivanting back to Wales. We've got about 200 miles to cover in the Inster today, which is getting increasingly filthy, and yeah, should be fun. One charge I think on the way back, so let's get moving. So we're still at 76%, average 3.8 miles per kilowatt hour last night. Again, not brilliant, but I was kind of driving normal speeds. and 159 miles of range, so we should be able to get a good chunk into the journey before I need to think about finding somewhere to stop and charge. Right, back on no mic's situation, but amusingly it's taking me a route that uses 8% less petrol, so thanks for that. I think it wants to go back that way. Looking at it, let's go that way because there is a roundabout that way. Oh, can't come in. Into drive we go. Where's all the traffic come from? It's Sunday morning, go away. So storm due in later, but I think we're probably going to encounter winds regardless. Right then, that way we go. Lovely buildings here in Skipton. Well, much of North Yorkshire. It's absolutely beautiful up here. It's all picture postcard pretty. Amazing church there, and just really old pubs. It's a fascinating place to visit, so would entirely recommend. Right, at the moment I'm actually using the keep in lane, or lane keep assist I think it's called, which is where you can take your hands off the wheel. It doesn't like it when you do that, and it will steer. So we're going around a very slight left hand bend, and it is controlling where we go. So I've got the cruise control controlling the speed, the car is doing the steering, but it gets upset and says keep hands on steering wheel. But you just give it a gentle nudge every now and then, the warning goes away. So I tend to keep a hand on the wheel so I'm ready to take control, and just every now and then just nudge the wheel, and it stops it warning me to keep my hands on the wheel, because technology's there, let the technology work. And I've been testing it. We've been through a section where the road markings were very, very hit and miss, and it kept me in my lane perfectly. And annoyingly, begrudgingly, I must admit, on quieter roads like this, I mean, this is like travelling in Europe, there's barely anyone here, it works really well. It's not so good on busy motorway where you have to change lanes quite often. So as soon as you indicate, the assistance goes off. So you go from having it helping you to having it just go, nope, you're on your own now. And I think that's why in a busy situation I found it annoying and wanted to turn it off. And it's annoying, but it turns on by default. You have to turn it off every single time. That and the lane departure, but I don't really need the lane departure system on if the car is controlling the lane, surely. It seems to be doing a very good job, so I just keep gentle nudges just so it thinks my hands are on the wheel, and it's doing the steering for me. I'm still keeping an eye on my mirrors, keeping an eye on what's going around, but it's just one less thing to focus on, I guess, a bit like cruise control. So relaxing it certainly is. Right, I'm going back to listening to Massive Attack now. Well, we're back at Chester again. I thought I'd try these GridServe chargers that failed to work last time, and same again. Lots of cars here in a line, presumably able to charge correctly, but they will not charge this car at all. It just hangs on the connecting to your car and does nothing. There are some Shell Recharge, so I think I'm going to go and try one of those instead. Well, hopefully this will work. It's a whopping 89 pence per kilowatt hour though. That is pretty expensive. I don't know what your home tariff is, but a lot less than that. So there we go, we're at 33% at the moment. Charge speed is ramping up. I think these do up to about 50 kilowatts. So it might take a while. I'm going to go to the loo because the old bladder is calling for a break as well. And we'll see what it's done by the time we get back. Yeah, still ramping up the speed. I reckon it's about half an hour to get up to 80%. So have a bit of a leisurely break. Right, in the time it took me to go to the toilets and get angry about the price of drinks, it's managed to get up to 55%. So it's put over 20% in, and I wasn't gone long. So it's charging 80 watts. These chargers can do up to 350 apparently, but that depends on the car. I don't think the Inster has really fast charger capability, but there we are. So while I wait, and I could do with a bit of a break, we've been going for an hour and a half already. I'm going to try and answer some of the questions, but because I'm an idiot, the only thing I've got to record on is this phone, and this phone also has the questions on, so I'm going to have to go and read them. Before we get into the question, I just want to say a huge thanks to Johnny, and I think it's his dad Roger, whose birthday it is today as I'm recording this. Happy birthday. They own between them the Volvo 360 GLT I drove yesterday, and Johnny made some delicious pulled pork rolls for lunch. Absolutely smashing. So huge thanks for the hospitality. Very much appreciated. First question was from Simon Sylvester. What's the capacity of your bladder? Sorry, I mean the car. My bladder, it seems to be about 2.5 hours, which is a bit disappointing. I was hoping for a longer range than that, so I'm running out before the car does mostly. The capacity officially 49 kilowatt hours, and the claim range is actually a bit less than I thought. It's about 220 miles. It's less because it's got the blingy 17-inch wheels. That robs you about 6 miles of range apparently, so maybe you're better off opting for the 01, which has mere 15-inch wheels. And possibly a slightly better ride, who knows. And yeah, realistically I would say 150, 160 at this time of year. In the depths of winter, probably a bit less. I'm sorry about the charger noise in the background, by the way. Andrew Widows asks whether changing your speed makes the same sort of difference. A most efficient speed for a petrol engine is kind of around 56 mile an hour, depending on the gearing of your car. With EVs, the basic rule is the slower you go, the more economical it is, because all you're doing is powering the motor. The engine's not turning over at a set speed. The motor is turning over at the speed of the car. So if you drove everywhere at 20 miles an hour, it would presumably be quite good at fuel. I'm not going to test that, although Wales offers the opportunity if I were to go and spend some time in the towns and cities. But it's certainly true that the slower you go, the better the range. So I've been cruising about 62 mile an hour today, and we've kind of eked the range back up towards 4 miles per kilowatt hour. And I suspect if I was going faster, because the effects of aerodynamic drag are not linear, so the faster you go, the more the air becomes like a wall and it's harder to punch through, which is why you need vastly more power to go 200 miles an hour than you do to go 150 miles an hour. It's a huge increase due to the drag. So yeah, if you want to eke out your mileage, then cruise at sort of anywhere between 55 and 62, I'd suggest. I prefer 62 because you're going faster than the trucks. You're not getting in their way. I don't like going at truck speed. You're just becoming a pest. Ren Bainolds asks when I'm going to get an iMEV, a Mitsubishi iMEV or similar, the Citroen C0 or the Peugeot Ion. Would be quite tempted, and as you know, we have got chargers nearer home now. The idea of a cheap EV is kind of appealing, but they were only good for about 60 miles when they were brand new. So I don't know how they're aging. Need to look into it. And in terms of battery life, there's an EV specialist fairly near me that I must make contact with. They had a Kia Soul EV, so that's going back to what, 2019, 2020 sort of age. And that was still showing a 100% state of health on the battery, which is really good. And I've heard of Hyundai's being used as taxis in Paris that have got like 300,000 kilometers on the clock and are still showing 100% state of health. So I think this myth that batteries just degrade horribly is simply not true. The Nissan Leaf does not have very advanced battery management and control, and they do lose quite a chunk of percentage over the years. So you know, quite a lot of them are down sort of 90% or even less. So that is a thing. But again, you can swap out bad cells and bring the range back up. There's people doing entire battery pack swaps on the Nissan Leaf, so you can put a larger one in from later on in the production. So you can get a 24-hour or 22 kilowatt hour one and put the 30 kilowatt hour battery pack in. So all this stuff is starting to happen. The aftermarket industry is springing up. Alan Simpson has many questions. What's the range like? I think we've covered that, about 150, 160 miles. Is it comfy? Yes, my back is twinging a little bit, and I think it all stems from the fact I just can't get my head back. That's not a problem unique to this car though. They all have the head restraint just too close. I don't like it. I'm almost tempted to take it out, but then I am leaving myself in danger of whiplash, so that definitely would not be sensible advice. Rear space, I think I demonstrated that in the previous video. It's very, very good. Boot space is a little limited, and it feels very solid and robust. The infotainment, I got issues with the sound actually. There's some frequencies just really hurt your ears on different songs, and the volume can be very variable track to track. I'm playing through YouTube Music, so it could be a YouTube Music problem. Yeah, the infotainment's all right. I'm going to say it's not brilliant. Richard Wilson asks about efficiency on the motorway, and I guess it's somewhere between 3.8 and 4 is kind of what I'm averaging, travelling 62 up to about 70 miles an hour, and I'm a bit disappointed with that, in all honesty. It seems to be no more efficient than the much larger Ioniq 5, and I find that really disappointing. I guess it's because in my head small car means more efficient, but that is proving not to be the case actually, and I'm a little disappointed by that. But so much has a factor on that: headwinds and traffic conditions. I tell you what I am finding, I've got the adaptive cruise on. The amount of people who cut so close in front of you that the car brakes and then accelerates again, I'm thinking, well, that's not very good for efficiency. But yeah, that is an annoyance, and I imagine for truck drivers it must be even more so. Eddie Jones asks how long it takes to charge, but again, there are very many factors at play here. If you want to charge to 100%, you can probably bet, if you've got the battery really low, on it taking at least an hour and a half, possibly 2 hours, even on a rapid charger. But rapid charger speeds can vary as well, so that's another factor. The real key is to stop like I have. I've stopped at about 34%. We're going to charge up to around 80, and that happens quite quickly. It's much slower if you want to keep going to 100%, and not particularly good for the health of the battery either. That last 10-15% takes an age. Sorry, I'm forgetting names a bit. Andrew Archer asks how easy it is to find charge points, and I would say very easy. I'm using Google Maps through the Android Auto, and I can literally just tell it, find me a rapid charger along my route, or if I know the towns along the way and where I'm roughly going to run out, I can say where, find me a charger there. We were navigating to the Welshpool chargers, but I was getting a little bit low on range. I mean, perhaps I could have gone to Oswestry. I don't know what's around the Oswestry area. I could have asked Google. That's the beauty of it. But we were right near here, and I just thought, well, I know there are chargers here. I didn't know they were not going to communicate with this car for whatever reason. But yeah, I just came here to Chester and pulled up instead. But yeah, you can use Google Maps. You can use the onboard navigation. I don't love the onboard navigation. I don't think it's as clear as Google Maps. And it seems to not necessarily get you to where the chargers are. Can be a problem. And the other one is I've got Electroverse app on my phone, which helps you find chargers as well. Finding working chargers can be a bit more problematic. I'm so disappointed that charging is still an issue. I was really hoping that this trip I would just go to a charger, plug it in, boot my card, whatever, and we'd be away. And well, eventually I have managed that every time I've needed electricity. We have been hunting around. Edinburgh was terrible. Phil Webb asks if this is going to follow typical Hyundai tradition and Hyundai whatever tradition and be a really good EV, and I would say yes. Yeah, the technology irks me. The infrared scanner goes off so much, and I think that's because there's so much on menus and stuff. And I guess you get a bit of blasé because you know the car is going to spot a thing and react to it before you can, perhaps. But yeah, it is quite naggy to the point I'm considering taping something over the scanner, so then it'll say there's a fault, it can't see my eyes, but at least I can not get nagged at every 5 minutes. But yeah, as a functional bit of kit for getting around, it's absolutely brilliant. Sarah Fairclough asks whether there's buttons or if it's all touchscreen, so I'm just showing you there are a lot of buttons. You can even control some of the infotainment with actual buttons. You've got a nice volume control that you can instantly grab, and you can just push it and it just shuts everything off nice and quiet. That's good. Heater controls are actual buttons as well. There's a lot to like. There's a lot of buttons, but I think I'd rather have a lot of buttons than everything hidden on menus. You can also custom program this button to give, well, to do different things, whatever you want it to do. Oh, incidentally, I've just noticed we're over 560 miles for this trip now. Blimey. And yeah, I like the feel of the stalks. They're also quite nice. So yeah, everything feels really nice, and it is just nice to have actual buttons. Gareth also asks whether the heater has a big impact on range. Not really. It's got a heat pump, so it's quite efficient. I think all the Instas have a heat pump. So that is much more efficient than just having a resistance heater. And but you know, there is some battery temperature control. You've got heated seats, heated steering wheel. There's quite a lot of things that can heat. But generally, the computer reckons it's about 6, maybe 8 miles per charge lost to heater use, so it's not so bad at all. In the winter, I suspect, because the battery would be heated, you'd probably have a slightly bigger impact on range, but I don't know, to be honest. It's not been that cold. It was quite chilly in Edinburgh yesterday, but not full on winter yet. David Robson, I must apologise to, because he gave me a tip off before I set off, but if you go to Gretna's retail village, the Tesla chargers there are open and are much cheaper than the chargers at Gretna services. I just forgot that on the way up. I knew there was an alternative. I couldn't remember it. I probably could have done a bit more research, but obviously we had all the issues with the diversions and everything, so I got quite distracted. It's probably my fault. Got a question about visibility. I've forgotten your name, sorry. I'm just not good enough at this. So here's your visibility. This is actually the right height, so I can see under it from my eye line, so that's not a problem. Some cars, that completely blocks my view. There's quite large side windows, really. Excellent mirrors. The mirrors are a really good size. Over the shoulder blind spot check is quite thwarted by this chunky pillar here, but you can see, I can just see. But to be honest, with the mirrors and on the motorway, I set them a little further out, so you get a better view of what's alongside. You can optionally spec blind spot monitoring, where it actually brings up a screen, I think, to show you an extra camera view. Incidentally, you can kind of press that button at any time, and even when you're going down the motorway, and get the rear view. You can see the lens is dirty again. Might give that a wipe before we go. Shush! Mark Glover asks if it's as repulsive in real life as it seems in photos. I don't think it is repulsive. I love this matte silver paint. I don't like silver paint as a rule. I think this looks amazing, and I really like the styling. I was in Edinburgh. There were some girls in a car behind me in a traffic queue, inevitable Edinburgh traffic queue, and they were getting their phones out and taking photos of the back of the car. So I think it's a very likeable design. I don't love the lower lights down there, but just tiny little LEDs. Why can't the indicators be up in this part like on an Ioniq 5? But I think it's quite nice, is it not? Right, I haven't answered every question, and I apologise for that, but I think we're up to 86 or 89 percent now, so I think I'm going to stop. How do I stop it? How do I stop that one? Active sessions. Oh no, I don't want language. No, Yeah, we're at 87% now, and let's stop it. It's taken half an hour to get back up to 87%. That will comfortably get me home and leave plenty in reserve. So we'll carry on home and see what I'm left with. So out it comes. No, it won't let me. I'm going to have to unlock the car. It locks the charger, I think. No, still won't let me do it. Okay, come on. Maybe it hasn't stopped yet. What are we doing? I'll go authenticate to stop the session. That's fair enough. So you can't just randomly turn up and do it. So I'm going to boot my card. I will not show you my card. There we go. Oh yes, now we can hear the clunking as things stop. Learning all the time, folks. So did that. Stopping. I deducted £26 something that was. So it's quite an expensive fill. So what is that, about 50%? So it's over 100 miles worth of range, but yeah, not cheap. Right, have we stopped? Can I disconnect yet? Some of these chargers are better than others. See if I can pull that out yet. No, yes, no, yes. There we go. Plug that back in there. Then you've got to put the little one in, because that's your main high voltage charge point. And then that one. And I've done that really badly. There we go. we can go. Oh, incidentally, I'm listening to Annie Lennox's Diva. Now I've had some Depeche Mode, 9 Inch Nails, we've had all sorts going on. But I've gone for a full album, Diva by Annie Lennox, which I don't think I've listened to since the early 2000s. My dad had it on cassette. Well, we're charging again in Newtown, not because we need to, but because I need to stop, because I need the toilet again, and I need some lunch. I've got yesterday's pizza in the boot, courtesy of a place in Ripon, I've forgotten the name of, it's that one. So I'm going to leave it charging here, and I'm going to explore this little cafe here. So it's 79p a kilowatt hour here. It's Transport for Wales, Trafnidiaeth for Cymru, but yeah, it is what it is, but you have to pay £1.50 for the car park as well. But nonetheless, we're going to see if we can support this little cafe by buying a drink to go with my leftover pizza. Well, that was quite interesting in there. It's it is a little cafe. It's a bustling community space. The service not the quickest, which I thought was fine because my car will be charging, but I came out and for some reason it had stopped charging, so that was a bit irritating. So let's see if it'll charge again. I've reset it, but yeah, imagine that if you'd left your car charging, came back and it had just stopped. That'd be annoying, wouldn't it? Well, you'd be unsurprised to know that it's raining. But I've now had my food. I've finished watching a video from Up and Down Videos, Kitch playing with a Porsche Boxster. If you actually want to see Kitch smile, watch that video and wait till he opens the roof remotely. Child, he is a child. We're at 77%, 152 miles of range. We're only about 60 miles from home, if that, so more than enough. I've been running the aircon to make sure we're defogged and everything, because I might as well do that while we're plugged in. But now I'm going to unplug, and even just talking to you, we're now on 78%, and continue home, because I think I would like to be home. It's been a while. 724 miles into our journey from Thursday. It's still Sunday. It's only just Sunday afternoon. Oh yeah, the car's telling me it's raining. That's good, because otherwise how would I know? How would I know? So yeah, disconnect charger, get on our way. There we go, that little top up cost £11 and has put us back at 79%, which is nice. I don't need my little ticket anymore. I've still got another half an hour on that. Never mind. Reverse. Oh, I've got to start it properly with my foot on the brake, or it won't let you start it. There we go. They've got lots of silver poles around this car park, which isn't ideal because they're very hard to see. But nonetheless, I seem to have managed to not hit any, so I'll consider that a result. Someone did ask if it was punchy, if it was fun, so I've put it in sport mode, which makes the dials go red and makes the throttle response much greater. So let's see. Oh yeah, struggling for traction a bit. That's 60 miles an hour. And it has to be said, the handling is good. I find it actually entertaining to drive on twisty roads. And just having that instant shove, but also you can respond to corners and danger so much quicker, because as soon as I lift off, the car is starting to slow down because it's in iPedal mode. It's actually a bit less aggressive, I think, the iPedal in sport mode. I wonder if it's expecting you to actually go to the brake pedal. Yeah, I mean, the steering isn't particularly communicative, but you can lean on it and you feel like you're having fun. So yes, the Insta is fun, especially on a road you know well. Well, the scary bit is the storm hasn't even hit yet. It's already getting very windy and very, very wet. But edging closer to home, 14 miles to go. This is not pleasant. I'm not looking forward to getting out of the car, to be honest. Well, there we are. We are back in the famous lay-by. I'm disinclined to get out of the vehicle at the moment, for the weather is so bad. We're actually slightly sheltered by the trees here. But we are 10 miles shy, or actually 11 miles shy, of 800 miles in this car since Thursday. Today being Sunday. I don't think that's too bad. And I have to say, there have still been issues, but overall, when I compare this to the last EV road trip to Scotland I did with a Jaguar I-Pace, this was a lot less stressful. On that trip I was trying to slipstream trucks to extend the range. It was all very, very stressful. I had huge problems with charging. This time, still annoyances, and annoyances that frankly aren't good enough, but nonetheless I've been able to complete my journey without too much issue. So and I've greatly enjoyed the experience. Electric just makes so much sense for long distance journey. All this, oh, EVs are great for towns and cities. Well, yes, by their very nature, because they're not pumping fumes out. But they're not just a one-trick pony. And I hope I've proved that a bit on this trip. I will do some concluding matters because I want to get through the sums. I'm going to total up everything I've spent on charging, and then I'm going to do sums against other cars on the fleet. And we'll see how it compares overall. The promised numbers. So I've totaled up the trip and how much I spent on charging, and I spent £124.88 on charging, which works out at 15.8 pence per mile. So actually it was a bit cheaper than I expected. That doesn't include the final stop at Newtown because I didn't need that one, but that was only another 11 quid. Anyway, I did that one just because I knew I'd be using the car after getting home, and it just made sense to leave some charge in it. But the charge I had from Chester would easily have got me home. So the most I spent on a charge was £28.72. But generally I was paying in the region of 13, 21, 24, 17, 19, that sort of figure for probably around 50% of the battery charge. So obviously so much cheaper if you can charge at home. But if you're driving 790 miles and getting 370 miles from home, you're not going to be able to do it on home mileage. There are EVs on the market already that can kind of do over 300 miles range. But again, what the claimed range is the range for full use of the battery. Whereas, you know, as I was finding on this trip, I was generally only going down to about 30% and going back up to 80. So I'm really only using half of the battery pack. It just leaves you a bit in reserve. Whereas in the early days of driving an electric car, you felt you were always driving on reserve. You know, you imagine a normal conventional fuel gauge. As soon as you left the house, you were kind of like, I would normally be hunting for petrol if I had this little range left. How does it compare to other cars on the fleet? Well, the only other car that could really match this for comfort and serenity is Betty, the Ford Australian Fairmont, who has much nicer headrests, now has a head unit I can just shout at YouTube music on. It really is a lovely way to travel. But I've estimated if she was doing 25 mpg, which she probably could on that trip, she would use £199 of fuel, which would work out at 25p per mile. So Betty is not a cheap car to drive. She's my first class transport. If I use Desmond, our little Perodua Canary, it would be very uncomfortable because I don't quite fit in that car. It's fine for bimbling around here, but driving longer distance, it would be quite painful. But it would only use £104 worth of fuel at 48 mpg, which works out at 13p per mile. And actually, I quickly did the sums on Bella de Bolingo, who would do slightly better economy, probably more like 50 mpg on a run, but the fuel's more expensive. But it actually works out exactly the same as Desmond. So at 50 mpg, 104 quid on diesel, and 13p per mile. I will say that is using average pump prices. Obviously, if I'd use motorway fuel, all those would be a lot more expensive, and it would affect the costs incredibly. But actually, I'm quite surprised. I was starting to think that using the public rapid chargers would make this more expensive than using a petrol car. And it did, but only by about 20 quid. So I don't think that's too bad at all. Enough boring sums. Let's head straight to the conclusion and my final thoughts on the Hyundai Inster and some little tips I found. Okay then, it's a couple of days later. It's probably time for some overall thoughts on the Hyundai Inster and what it's like, not just for an 800 mile in 4-day road trip. At the moment, I've got it charging off the solar panel for an experiment. That's going to be in a future video. Does this paraphernalia actually work for an electric car? I guess we're going to find out. If you're new to the channel, by the way, that Australian Ford is mine. That blue Charade belongs to my partner, but is a car I'm working on. 2CV, we like unusual vehicles, not just electric cars. Yeah, my overall thoughts are, this is a very good car. I did 200 miles in the Rodius yesterday, Sangyong Rodius, and I was actually glad to get back in this again. Once you get used to the way electric works, it gets very addictive. And we're going to do a separate video on what I love about EVs, but the driving experience is a huge part of it. And for a lot of people, that makes it worth living with the occasional hassle of public charging. But I'll do a separate video on that. This is just about the Insta itself and what it's like, and really pleasant. I've really enjoyed my time with this car. We've actually got an extra day. They're going to collect it tomorrow rather than today, so that's good because I can do my experiments, and it left me some time for my final thoughts. What really ruins this car for me, there are two aspects. One is the seat, that just pushing your head forward. I'm told some other manufacturers that isn't such an issue, so it might be Hyundai specific. And the other thing is the nagging tech. And that really bothers me because it's just not good enough. I think the speed limit detection in Hyundai's generally very, very poor. It uses a combination of GPS data. Well, that's ruined my experiment. Try again. Yeah, the speed limit detection uses a combination of map data and sign recognition. I can't really fault the sign recognition, apart from the fact it picks up on signs that are nothing to do with the road you're on. It picks up speed limits on side roads and sometimes parallel roads. And some modern cars rely on that data for the cruise control. So you're going down a motorway and it sees a 40-mile-an-hour sign on a parallel road. It will slam the anchors on down to 40 miles an hour. That's ridiculously dangerous. But the map data seems especially poor. It must be where there's been sections of roadworks. Those roadworks are gone, but the mapping software still thinks there is a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit there. And that's just not good enough. If you're going to have this tech being relied on, so it's not just advisory, it can potentially control the speed of the car, the data has to be correct. And it's not good enough to have iffy data. So that is a problem. But overall, the fundamentals, I've really enjoyed this car. My charging experiences have been a bit flawed, but again, I will point out I'm a relative newbie. I don't own an electric car. So there's lots of tricks and tips you learn. Just like with a petrol car, you learn never to fill up on a motorway services. There's a lot that's true when it comes to charging these. Lots of people, and this was proved time and time again, because even when I was having problems, there were lots of other EVs having no problems at all drinking their electricity. So there's a certain amount of newbiness causing me issues just because I don't yet understand the experience. But on the other hand, it has to be accessible and it has to be as easy as filling a petrol or diesel car. We're not there yet. There's progress though. The things like the plug and charge, that is a thing where some chargers, you can register the car. So as soon as it's plugged in, it knows who's paying and what the car is, and it's away. You just plug the cable in, go and have your break. And that is to be applauded. And also we got the next jump in battery tech. The solid state batteries are going to absolutely transform electric cars. But fundamentally, yeah, I just like the experience. I think the Insta is a very good car. There's a lot of features I like. Excellent mirrors, good visibility. The reversing camera is a pain. This lens gets very dirty very quickly, but look at the state of the car. We've done an awful lot of miles. And again, my 790 miles in 4 days is not really reflective of what most people are doing in their cars. That is a bit unusual. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. And yeah, stay tuned for the solar charger experiment. Can you actually charge your electric car with a solar generator? I'll find out in a future video. I'm still experimenting right now. But yeah, thank you for watching, and we shall see you in a future video. Farewell. It'd be nice if this lit up, wouldn't it? My apologies, in video 1 I didn't show you what's actually in the engine bay. It's all very colourful in here. Got some coolant there for various things that need cooling. The charging, the motor, the engine is all in this area. Orange means high voltage, so be very, very careful under here. But screen wash is here, brake fluid is here, and your standard 12-volt battery, which powers all the stuff you kind of use, is down here. That is charged from the main battery pack, but only while you're driving along. There is a setting where you can make the stereo run off the main battery pack so you don't drain this down. But it does mean, potentially, that you could jumpstart another vehicle with this. So you could use this to jumpstart another car. I'm not sure whether that's recommended or not, but that's how you would do it. But yeah, not very much in here for the DIY mechanic, but lots of people are now getting trained up on this technology, and lots of others are working out how to hack it and make it better. So yeah, watch this space for a growing aftermarket when it comes to servicing electric cars. Okay, someone tipped me off about this in the Hyundai Inster. Oh, that's good. Does it work for me though? No. That's still where my eye line is, but still, they tried.